Okay, so today I'm going to be trying to figure out the reason or fix the reason that my check engine or emissions light came on. This is a 2016 Chevy Colorado Z71, and as you can see it has just under 45,000 miles. So with all the research that I've done, and I actually stopped at one of the local auto parts stores and they ran a diagnostic check, and the diagnostic check showed error code P0442, which is an EVAP leak, or evaporative emission system leak. And I was told that there are three different types: small, medium, and large. This one happens to be small. And I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know much about it. But basically what it says is that the canister purge valve is malfunctioning, so that will need to be replaced. So I purchased this valve here. That's the part number. Cost me just about $40. And this is the part here that we're going to be replacing. There's an electrical component or wire that goes here. This is part of the vacuum system, and then this here is where it attaches primarily to the vehicle. Okay, so it did come with these other parts here, but I'll have to wait to take the old one off first to see how these parts will attach to the new canister valve, purge valve. So apparently this is an issue that I know I've seen one other person with a similar year, Colorado has just over 46,000 miles, where they had a similar issue and they needed to replace this purge valve. I can tell you that once the emissions light did come on, I was not able to use my remote start anymore. That is probably one of their indications to tell you that something's wrong and you need to get it checked. Also, I did notice there feels like some hesitation in the acceleration, and also I noticed a slight rough idle down at like an idle speed, or coming off the highway speed down to a lower speed. So I would suggest, and as the manual suggests, that if this emissions light does come on in your vehicle, that you get it checked within a week or so, because if this is the problem, then your engine, as the instructions have said, could be either have a very rich or very lean fuel to air mixture. So you don't want to run your truck too long with that issue. So now I'll take you outside, we'll show you where this part is to be replaced, and then we'll get started on replacing. All right, so here I'm on the passenger side of the engine compartment, and right underneath the engine cover you can see the purge valve right here. This is what we're going to be taking off. There's an electrical plug here. This is the vacuum line, and then there's another. This is where it enters into the compartment here. There's green clips on this vacuum hose line that I think I'm going to need maybe a screwdriver or something to get in there. I'll have to see once I get this electrical component off here. That should be fairly easy. It's just a tab. Get it from the side here. Once you release that tab, then you can pull the electrical wire right out. I still don't have good access here, so I'm going to need a screwdriver, I think, to depress this other green clip and pull this off. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you. Use a flathead screwdriver and use the bottom piece here to get leverage on this green clip here while I squeeze the top here with my other finger. And now we have this off. Alright, so it's a little bit hard to see, but right back here is our 10mm bolt. So we'll get a ratchet and we'll take that off, and then we should be able to just take this right off. Alright, so I got the 10mm bolt out right here using small ratchet. I was able to clear the top of this engine cover here. And it only took me just a couple of minutes. And we'll put that aside. Now, the purge valve canister should separate right here with just a little bit of hole. So it'll just pull it straight out. Came right out. So now we'll see what the new one needs and get ready to get that. So after taking the electrical wire off the vacuum hose, there is a way to test to see if this canister is bad while it's still on the vehicle. So if you have the vehicle running and cover up the vacuum part here, sucking air. And right now, because the electrical component's not on there, this valve should be closed and it should not be pulling air through it. So that tells you that it's bad. So we're going to take it off and replace it. After editing the video here, that it was a little hard to hear about how you can test this while it's still in the vehicle. So this purge valve operates like a valve, obviously, either open or closed. Nowhere in between. So the reason it has the electrical harness here is because it's powered by the electrical system, which will tell it and open it when it needs to be open and closed. So before you take it off, if you wanted to test it with the engine not running, disconnect both the electrical and the vacuum hose. Then when you start the car, since it's not getting the signal from the electrical system, this valve should be closed. And if you put your finger over the vacuum part and you're able to hear that it's trying to pull air through, then it means that this valve is open. So that's how you know that it's bad and it needs to be replaced. All right, so the new one's on, and now it's just a matter of putting this vacuum hose back on. Clips right back on, and the electrical harness here. There's another hand there. So that's plugged in. All right, so that should do it. We can either take the negative terminal off the battery, leave it off for a couple minutes, reset the system, or I think if we just cycle the engine a few times, drive it around a couple days, I think it'll reset the code on its own, and that should be it. All right, so I just finished installing the canister purge valve, and I unplugged the negative terminal for the batteries to see if we can reset this emission error code. So we'll start it up and see what happens. Everything looks pretty good. Light went out. All right, so we'll drive it around for a couple days and see what happens, and hopefully the light doesn't come back on. And that's how you replace the canister purge valve on a 2016 Chevy Colorado.